where you offer nothing and it is just about sex. The cool thing that didn't happen because we don't have forever is that these candles burn and they get their colors all over this white candle. And you see the stains of being sexually active and of sharing your heart with so many people, and you see how they just carry from one into the next. So the question then is sex bad? Is that what I'm saying? Am I up here telling you guys sex is bad? Well, let's look at 1 Corinthians 7. Don't take my opinion. I'm just a single guy waiting to get married. I'm engaged, waiting to get married, so don't take my opinion. Verse 1 of chapter 7 in 1 Corinthians. Now concerning the matters about for which you wrote, is it good then for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman? Is that what you're saying, Paul? Let's not have sex since we seem to be getting it wrong the entire time? He's going, no. Because of, and you got to know, there's people in the church at the time who were the opposite, who were saying it's sin to do anything in your body, including sex. Don't have sex. There's religions that teach that. There's forms of yoga, not the mushy, Hollywood version of yoga, but there's actual versions in India that's all about depraving your natural body, including that sex. And so they're like, is that how we should go? Just ignore all of our body? And he says, no. In fact, don't even try because of your sexual temptation. He says, each man should have his own wife and each woman her own husband. Catch this part, guys. Guys, if you want to underline a verse, this is your verse. The husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights, and likewise the wife to her husband, i.e., the husband should have sex, and the wife should have sex. It is a command in the Bible. There's a commandment, 11th commandment, right? You're going to now etch that. You're going to go downtown, find the 10 commandments, and be like, tick, 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 tick. You should have sex when you're married. It's awesome. Is sex bad? No, you should have sex. I want you guys to hear that. I'm even talking to the single people. You should have sex. But under what circumstances? Husband to wife. Wife to husband. Get this, for a wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. Oh, that's sexist. Well, okay, likewise, ladies, now you get to be sexist. Likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. What that means, it doesn't mean, guys, that you get to rape your wives. And women, this is a weird circumstance, but likewise, it does not mean you get to rape your husbands. But it means, ladies, if you're married and you're running into the bathroom to get changed, and your husband's like, hey, sexy lady, you open that door. That's my body, and I want to look at it. That means you do that. Ladies, that means when you get married, it's not just like, all right, now I get to do 40 years of sweatpants. Unless he likes you in sweatpants, then that's what you do. Guys, that means if you're watching a movie and she's like, hey, I want to snuggle. That's my body. You get that body over here. I want to snuggle with it. I want that body's arm around me. I want that ear listening. I want it to listen. That means you do that, guys. That's a good thing. In fact, don't deprave, he says, one another. Don't hold back on your sexuality if you're married, except for by agreement or for a limited amount of time that you could devote yourselves to prayer, because that's the only way you're going to get through it, let's be honest. But then come back together again so Satan may not tempt you. See, there's a God-given place for sex, and that is in marriage, and it should happen a lot because he created you that way. You know, I heard one pastor say, I figure you eat 3 times a day. You should probably have sex 3 times a day. Sounds like a good standard. And you get the idea that God created it and it should be something good. There's a magazine article that said, in Glamour, that said that you should investigate your guy when you're dating. You need to investigate him and make sure he's faithful on you. Hire a private eye if that's the case. But go ahead and have sex with him. That's what the article said. was like, what? See, in a relationship, there shouldn't be questions. I think Paul said this last week. You shouldn't wonder, W-O-N-D, W-A-N-D as well. You shouldn't wander in your marriage, but you shouldn't wonder in your relationship. In a relationship that's having sex but is not committed in marriage forever, the questions are, will he be with me forever? Does she really want to be with someone else? Is there someone else? How long will he or she love me? If you're in marriage and you've made that forever covenant, the answer is yes, he will be with you forever. The answer is, does she want to be with someone else? No way, not as long as she's loving Jesus and trying to serve him. Is there someone else? Never. How long will they love you? Till they die. How long will this good sex last? Will God willing, physical illness outside of that? Forever. I'm going to close with this, that there's a lie from Satan. Notice how it says that you should not deprave yourself so that Satan may not tempt you. Some of you have been brought up in the church wrong, and I know there's one teaching, it's the 3 Ds. No, not dodge, duck, dive, dip, and dodge, okay? Different Ds. You might, if you're married, go discuss that later and see if that works for you. But there's 3 Ds. Dirty, dangerous, don't. This is the kind of stuff that gets taught in church. I want you guys to know that this is a lie from Satan. Some of you guys can't get intimate, especially you ladies, because someone scared the crap out of you about sex. And you've never been able to relax, and you are freaked out. And I want you to know that that is a lie from the devil. He wants you to be asexual in your marriage so that your husband is looking elsewhere. Just want you to know that. Some of you women, your candle looks like this, and it's not your fault. Someone sexually molested you. Someone raped you. Someone took your purity away when you were young. And so when you are married, it's going to be hard to be sexual. You're going to have a hard time coming together. I realize that. And what you're going to need, women, is you're going to need Jesus. It's not going to be easy, but you need to start coming to Jesus. See, there's a lot of ladies that come to the church and that they hide their sexual problems in the church and in Jesus. They hide them, thinking that, the church is a place that tells me not to be sexual. So I never have to confront these issues. I never have to deal with this, and I can just be asexual in the church, and some guy's just going to have to love me anyway. That's not what Jesus died on the cross for, so you could hide your pain. If you've been abused, if you have problems sexually, women, come to Jesus and be healed. Come to Jesus and be redeemed. That sounds like an easy answer. It's going to take a long time. It might take some Christian counseling, and it's going to take a lot of prayer. But if you're not married, start now so that you're healthy by the time you're married. And if you're married, get your husband involved. He'll pray for you. He'll help you. Let him know. Confess that to him. Guys, if you have physical issues, like seriously, we already mentioned Viagra once, like just get over your pride. Go see the doctor. Be like, I got problems. Help me. You guys are laughing, but I talked with a woman at one of these last weddings I was at. I was in the wedding party, she was in the wedding party, and I found out she was divorced, and the pastor side of me just like, okay, what happened? And she was this good-looking gal, and she's like, dude, the guy he wasn't interested in me sexually. I was like, oh, like a little bit? No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, she thinks he was gay, is what ended up happening, which is kind of tragic for her. She's like, I saved myself from marriage, and then I didn't realize I had to save myself through marriage. So guys, if you have issues and they're physical, go see a doctor. If they're emotional, get prayer, get counseling. Tonight's communion night. I'm going to have a worship team move up. Tonight is communion night, guys. And a lot of you have been burning your sexual candle for a long time. And it probably looks like one of these destroyed candles. And what I want you guys to know, I want you guys to see something. I'm going to get back into this lady's story, but in Luke 7, there was a woman, probably a prostitute, probably Mary Magdalene, who came to Jesus, and she started crying and weeping. at Jesus' feet because she realized in Jesus was healing and was redemption. And the religious people were like, how dare you let such a filthy person come into your presence, Jesus? And a lot of you with your past have that mentality. How dare I even enter the church? I'm too filthy. How dare I find a good Christian guy or girl? I'm too filthy. But Jesus looked at her and he said, she loves me a lot because I've forgiven her of a lot. And you religious people who think you're so pure and good, you don't love me that much because I haven't forgiven you of that much. If you have a bad past, come to Jesus. This red one tonight represents the blood of the cross that was shed. That what you lack, the sacrifice on the cross, Jesus dying for your sins, makes up for what you lack. And what you need to do tonight is you need to come and you need to trust in that blood. This is how this lady ended. She said it wasn't about finding someone to love. It needed to be about me loving myself enough. I needed to know that I was worth waiting for. I never knew that someone could love me without me having to be naked. And here's the key. She found her identity in Christ, and this is what she said. What I was did not and does not define who I am. Because of the blood of the cross, guys, what you did does not define who you are. That his righteousness became our righteousness where we lacked it. So tonight I invite you to take communion and to let Jesus' forgiveness on the cross fill up where you lack so that you can be whole when it comes time to be sexual in your marriage. Let's worship God and let's take communion in awe of Jesus' sacrifice.